hope you can hear me. I haven't done a audio test on this thing yet. So, like I was saying, this is a dangerous highway for mainly the main reason is it's a two-way highway, and lots of trucks come down here. Um, in Thunder Bay, you've got the port of Thunder Bay. You've got a big trucking industry coming in and out of Thunder Bay, through Thunder Bay from both directions, east and west, as well as heading up north. Uh, in Ontario, the law obligates truckers to have speed limiters, which limits your speed so that you don't speed, because the way things would go without that law, you'd have truckers speeding down this highway recklessly, and people would get killed. More and more people would get killed. So those laws are there to try and protect us. But even as I'm driving down this highway, there was a sign up ahead warning me of an emergency scene. So I slowed right down, and it was at a critical junction. So I guess what it looks like is that the truck that was coming towards me in the opposite direction, I wasn't there. I'm just saying that it was in the direction that I'm heading. See this truck? That truck is coming in the opposite direction of me. So at that junction, somebody must have been stopped or suddenly decided to stop and slam their brakes. I don't know, but for some reason, the truck didn't even hit its brakes, because I would have seen rubber marks on the highway. And it just swerved over to, I guess if it was coming in the opposite direction, it would have swerved left. And it went right through these wooden barricades, and it went right into a creek or river. And if that driver was not wearing a seatbelt, and you see that hill up ahead, that's what that driver had come down. So if it hadn't been watching its speed, and if it just coasted all the way down, and it's coming down at 120, 130 kilometers an hour, and somebody in front of them decided to hit their brakes and decided, oh, here's my turn. Well, then, rather than kill that person, because that person would surely be killed instantly at those speeds, that trucker took his own life and went right into that creek bed. If that trucker was wearing his seatbelt, he might have survived. But if that trucker was not wearing a seatbelt, that trucker is surely dead. That whole truck and trailer was broken. It was like that. It's pretty hard to break the frame of a trailer, I guess, but that trailer was pretty well cracked in half. Whatever cargo that was in it would have went forward and crushed the driver if it was heavy. So I'm assuming that that was a fatal accident. And unfortunately, on this stretch of highway, you see that quite a bit. I've been up and down this highway many times. And I've seen a lot of fatal accidents like that. Trucks just go right off the road, and Hang on a second here. Yeah, they go right off the road. A lot of truckers, they don't wear their seat belts. They just don't think it's necessary. They say it's uncomfortable or whatever. They sit on it. If the truck doesn't start or won't go into, it won't operate unless the seat belt's connected. Or if they don't want to hear that constant beeping to remind them to put their seat belts on. They just plug the seat belt and then sit on it. They don't actually use it. And I can tell you from my own experience of losing my drive tires, that when this trailer shakes, if you're not wearing your seatbelt, you're going to get kicked out of the driver's seat, and you're going to head right into a creek bed, off a cliff, or into a mountain, or into somebody else and kill them, because you won't be behind the steering wheel anymore. You'll be knocked right out of the seat. This is, to me, the deadliest highway in Canada, this stretch from Thunder Bay to the Manitoba border. After the Manitoba border, it twins all the way up to Winnipeg. But do you see how this traffic is coming against me? Sometimes cars want to do the speed limit, which is 90. Sometimes trucks want to pass. Sometimes other cars want to pass trucks. The only way to pass is to drive into oncoming traffic. And some of these drivers, they take terrible risks. Terrible. They risk everything. They risk their families, their children, their grandchildren, their lives, their loved ones. And sometimes, rather than kill someone, people will take the ditch and kill themselves. It's really stupid. You could call it a lapse of judgment, maybe fatigue, maybe stress in someone's life is causing them to take risks that aren't necessary. But whatever it is, it all adds up to the one mistake where you think you're going to make it and you don't. Sometimes it's just, oh look, there's a moose. Can you see the moose? Did you see the moose? It's a new one. Probably a year old. That's another thing. Maybe there was a moose in the road. Maybe the driver took the ditch and killed himself for the moose. I don't know. I can tell you that there's a lot of really stupid truck drivers on this highway. Just like on the 401, where I was telling you about the one truck driver who tried to run me off the highway. I won't be driving down the 401 ever again. That's just crazy. I still think this stretch is even more deadly than the 401. So my load is light. That's why I'm able to easily climb up these hills. But I still got to watch my speed going down. I'm not talking or telling you this story just because I think I'm such a great driver and I'm such a great person. I'm just telling you because when after driving up and down this highway for 3 years and seeing the things that I've seen, it's quite You probably don't believe me, so I'm going to say the words unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's one word, it's not words. But, anyways, down this highway, I have seen truckers. I don't know, maybe they're new. Maybe they're from some different country. But they have stopped, literally stopped in the middle of the highway, just right in the road. Not even pulled over onto the side of the gravel. They've just stopped. And they got their four ways on, but it's too late. Like if you're not careful, or if something happens and you're heavy and you're coming downhill, you come around a curve, somebody's just stopped right in the highway. The stupidest thing you could do. The deadliest, most stupid thing you could do is stop here on this highway. And I've seen it. I've seen truckers, they're trying to find a place to sleep, I guess. And they're trying to back into one of these small roads that are coming into the highway. And that's got to be the dumbest thing you could possibly do, is to think, there's nobody behind me, I have time to back this into a road. And I have seen fatal collisions, truck accidents, because truckers have tried to do it. See this, where this car is? They've tried to back in there. And see how this truck is coming? Doesn't have time to stop. If this truck, and in Canada, we are allowed to be heavier than in the United States. So if you're heavy and you try to stop, you're not going to stop. It takes at least half a football field to stop a heavy truck. A half a football field. It takes 3 football fields to slow down properly. That's what these little cars, they don't understand. They just think, they did, look, see what I just said? What did I just tell you? What did I just tell you? All right, he's coming up. Yeah, he's coming out of a roadside turnout. That's a terrible place to. If there's someone coming behind me, this could be fatal. I'm just gonna say goodbye to my family now. I love you guys. Um, Live your life well. I know what death is like. I already know what it's like to die. Dying is like you never even lived. For you as a person, for other people who have known you, they've known you, and they probably won't forget you. But for you as a person to die in a fatal accident like this, in this situation, how you just saw that Transax coming out, it's like I didn't even leave to deliver these loads for me. Because I've actually been in an accident where I've lost consciousness. And I woke up in an ambulance, not knowing what the hell happened. Death is like that. It's like you didn't even live a life. It's over. You're dead. You think you go to heaven? That's up to you to believe, if you want to believe that. You know? Whatever religion you're from, whatever it is that is your beliefs. But I can tell you from my own experience of having being in a motor vehicle accident, a near fatal one, death is pretty well, that's final. It's over. You're done. And whatever memory you had of life is gone. Gone? Gone. You you're dead. You will never remember your life. Never. You're dead. I didn't even remember my life when they woke me up. I didn't even know who I was or what I was doing there. All I knew is I was waking up to a world of pain. See, this is the stretch where they try to pass. And everybody's passing, and it's crazy. It's crazy. And you'll see trucks like if I was one of those truckers, I'd be pulling right up to the back of that Transax, watching. Okay, can I go? Can I'll be swinging over to the left like this here, hugging this dotted line, looking over to see if there's any trucks coming. Right on his, right on a Transax's ass. I'd be right on his ass, getting ready to pass and to have a turtle race with him down this highway. See how I'm gaining? I'm only going 100 kilometers an hour. Technically, it's not speeding. The speed limit the posted limit is 90. But you see, like I don't do that. I don't ride other trucks, trailers like that. If I'm going to pass a truck safely, I'm going to do it a truck length from behind, not not 1 foot from the trailer, like some of these other truckers. Because I've seen enough on this highway. I've seen so much death and destruction, just senseless death. I've seen motorcyclists. They think they're invincible, or they think the fucking truck better get out of my fucking way. I've seen them slam right into the back of a truck and they're dead. They're dead. Or they ride too close to the side of a truck and there's a slipstream there and they think they can manage that slipstream. You can't manage that. Most cars have a hard time managing that. Big pickup trucks have a hard time managing that slipstream. You might get sucked right in, even when you're passing. If you're in a motorcycle and you're passing, like you pass me, the way this Jeep is about to pass me, that truck, sorry. Some of these motorcyclists, they think I better get the fuck out of their way. Better get the fuck out of the way. The fucking motorcycle. And they purposely ride that dotted line on the side of me. Recklessly. And I've seen them slam into the side of a truck and they're fucking dead. Like this truck, that trailer, you go under those back tires there, that's probably about 87,000 pounds. You're crushed. Like you're not recovering from that. And it's a slow death, being crushed. It's not like you're going to go into shock. You're going to know you're crushed. How do I know? Because I've seen enough dead animals on the side of the road still screaming. Well, those are much bigger than humans. So this is a good distance between me and that Transax, because that Transax I got a feeling there's something wrong with that driver having stopped in that location and pulling out from there. I mean, if you gotta go, you gotta go, but pretty sure that if you're working for Transax, you've been up and down this highway many times as I have. And you should know better. You should know all the safe places to stop. So maybe that's a new driver. It's either a new driver or it's a driver that knows everything and knows it all. You can't tell them anything. And there's not one specific race that behaves that way. There's not one specific ethnic group that acts like that. It's everywhere. That kind of recklessness. Oh, and at nighttime too, when it's dark, you can't see. Can't see the moose, and the moose here are as big as this truck. Pretty sure if you hit a moose, you're gonna be dead. Especially if you're in a little car, but if you're in a big truck like this, a moose's belly stops right at the top of this the hood of this truck. So you'll break its legs and it'll come up on the hood and come right through this windshield. And at 100 kilometers an hour, you're going to get crushed by about 800 or 900 pounds of moose meat. I'd rather eat moose meat than get crushed by it. Anyways, that's this highway. So traffic's pretty slow today. It's 10 to 6. Usually it's way busier. Anyways, that's my horror stories for the day. I'd like to thank you for joining us on in my opinion, the deadliest highway in Canada. I think the 401 is just as deadly, and I think that the Coca-Cola is all hype. Like if you're not stupid, you can drive through the Coca-Cola without any anxiety if you're doing it correctly. Anyways, go ahead, enjoy yourself. Drive safely. Don't be stupid. Don't take no risks.